Today I'm mainly here to talk about some issues on how we conducted the Heart of Nation Delegates Conference, which started on 23rd, 29th August 2021. I will first talk about the introduction. I take this honor to greet you in the name of Almighty God and thank God for the gift of life He has given to us. I will try to summarize because I've got little time here, but I will try to summarize and I make my speech very brief. One, I'm going to talk about like 5 issues. I will talk about how the meeting of Heart of Nation started. I will talk about what happened in the meeting. I will talk about the Nkumba University media issues that have been saturating. I will talk about the campaigning strategies. I will talk about the tuition policy. Firstly, I will talk about how the meeting of Heart of Nation started. The meeting started well, as I had prepared for the meeting. So I was in my room in Mbarara. That's when I was going to depart for the meeting. So I and my colleagues, we are ready for the meeting. As I had an appointment with some of my comrades of mine from Heart of Nation project, so they were waiting for me to come for the meeting, and we started the discussions. Actually, before setting off for the Heart of Nation meeting, I had to meet Mr. Nicholas and Mr. Ogwang Paul, because we had some issues to discuss about before we go for the meeting. So I had to leave my place where I was staying, the hotel where I slept in, and travel to the meeting area. So now I am going to go about what happened in the meeting exactly when we had set off to go to the meeting. So we set off for the meeting. I had 2 comrades of mine, but remember we had an appointment with Mr. Nicholas and Ogwang Pao. Also, I had to contact my comrade, Mr. Clinton Rukundo Kamkama, so that we can head for the meeting. But as we had left the place where we stayed in Mbarara, traveling to Bushenyi, actually we had to stop in Shema for a tea. But unfortunately, when we stopped, some mafias kidnapped us and took us to an unknown destination. They started to question us. I was questioned many questions, and my team. For example, what is Heart of Nation on? What are we trying to build in Uganda? Then, why is that I'm in the guild race for Nkumba University, and why am I not in any political party? But I had to laugh at them, because I'm in the race for guild president at Nkumba University as an independent candidate, not affiliated by any political party, though I'm under my project of Heart of Nation. It's not my project, it's a project for most of the Ugandans, because we have very many youth in that project across the country in different regions. So we had to reply to them, to some of the questions, as the guys had detained us. They took us in some cavern, and we found ourselves in an unknown place, I and my 2 comrades. So we had to be there. We were going to have, they were trying to speak to us. But after some time, I had my comrade, Mr. Nicholas, he had to contact the CAPS Mbarara station and also the RDC. So that was done by the CEO 256 project, a project that is headed by Councillor Nicholas. He is a determined man and an intelligent man with a strong vision. Also my comrade in Heart of Nation. So now about that one, so we had an appointment that we should first check about the drafted constitution of Heart of Nation, then also talk about the manifesto, my manifesto for the guild race, but unfortunately we did not discuss about them because I was captured. I was detained by those people when we hadn't started up the discussion. So after some time, the guys who took us, they brought us back in the van and dropped us in Kabwe town on Thursday, 26 August. Then they gave us our phones back. So after that one, when we are freed, we had to proceed and go for the meeting. We had to proceed and go for the meeting, and we left Shema, we went to Bushenyi, where the legal conference was to take place, and reaching there, we found that those people were waiting for us. But according to what was happening, we were not allowed to be using the phones in that meeting because we had to keep that information confidential and for the secrecy of the project. So we proceeded and went for the meeting. The meeting proceeded well, and we finished it on Sunday evening at around 6 p.m. and we had to depart. We had to prepare and start our journey from Bushenyi to Mbarara, where we are going to finalize everything that had happened in the meeting. Then we talk about the Nkumba media issues. Actually, when I was back to WhatsApp, I found many of my supporters asking me what exactly happened, as many of my supporters at Nkumba University had received the information that I was kidnapped, so I had to make research of what happened. So I will give brief details about my kidnap. So the kidnap was there, so I'm announcing it to the Nkumba fraternity that I was kidnapped. But my kidnap was not by any of the guild presidential candidates in the race, although some information was on media. I'm hearing that some information was circulating on media that some of my fellow guild aspirants had kidnapped me. So I'm here to announce it, that my arrest, my kidnap, was concerned to the Heart of Nation, the project we are building in Uganda with a vision of creating an inclusive society in Uganda 2031. So no any guild presidential candidate at Nkumba had an attachment with my kidnap. Therefore, on hearing that information that my supporters were blaming opposition side, especially those who were in the race for guild, I therefore apologize on behalf of my supporters for that, especially my bloggers, as they had announced that my kidnap was by some of my fellow guild aspirants, but it was not like that. Then, about the propaganda, my opponents tried to use to spoil my name, especially about the project so far I have done to see that in Nkumba University, my fellow Nkumbarians can get something, and they find that we are also planning to see Nkumba being a great university. So some of the projects which some of the colleagues are trying to use to spoil my name, especially the food relief, water, and some other projects, I therefore condemn that it's propaganda, and me personally, I'm there for my fellow Nkumbarians, so my supporters